Before you do anything else this morning, I want you to stop, just for a moment. Put down whatever is in your hand. Set your phone on the table or hold it still. Take one slow breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. You are here. You woke up this morning. Your heart is beating. Air is moving in and out of your lungs without you having to think about it. And that right there is already a reason to give thanks.
This is not just a prayer for people who feel good this morning. This is not a prayer for people who have everything figured out. This is a prayer for anyone who opened their eyes today and felt the weight of the day before they even got out of bed. This is for anyone who is carrying something heavy. This is for anyone whose first thought this morning was a bill, a diagnosis, a relationship that is strained, a job that is gone, a phone that is not rung with good news in a long time.
This prayer is for you. And here is what I want you to hear before we begin. Gratitude is not something you feel after life gets better. Gratitude is the door you walk through to get there. Giving thanks to God today, right now, in the middle of whatever you are facing, is one of the most powerful things a human being can do. It shifts something in the spirit. It shifts something in the atmosphere of your life. When you open your mouth and thank God before the answer has arrived, before the check is cleared, before the doctor has called with good news, you are making a declaration of faith that heaven responds to. So we are going to do that together this morning. We are going to thank God. We are going to pour our hearts out. We are going to release what we have been holding. And we are going to believe before this prayer is over that something has already moved on our behalf. Take one more breath. Settle into where you are, your kitchen, your bedroom, your car in a parking lot before your shift starts, a quiet corner of a house that is already getting loud. Wherever you are, God is there too. Let's go to Him together. There are mornings when thanking God feels easy. When the sun is coming through the window at the right angle, and the coffee is right, and the people you love are well. Those mornings, gratitude rises almost on its own. You do not have to search for it. And then there are mornings like some of you are having right now. Mornings when the news is not good. Mornings when you woke up before your alarm because your mind was already running. Mornings when the thing you went to sleep worrying about was the first thing you thought of when your eyes opened. Mornings when someone you love is not okay, when something you needed did not come through, when the situation you were hoping had changed has not changed. On those mornings, gratitude is not a feeling, it is a decision. And I want to tell you something about that kind of gratitude. The kind that you have to decide to walk into rather than fall into. That kind is more powerful than the easy kind, because that kind costs something. That kind says, I see what is happening in my life, and I am choosing, right now, to look at God instead of looking at this. That kind of gratitude is an act of faith, and faith is what moves mountains. So if this is a hard morning for you, I am not going to ask you to pretend it is not. I am not going to tell you to smile before you feel like smiling or to manufacture joy you do not have. I am going to ask you to do something harder and more real than that. I am going to ask you to open your hands, even if they are shaking, and hold them toward God. And I am going to walk with you into a place of genuine, costly, powerful thanksgiving. Not because everything is fine, but because God is still God. And that has always been enough reason. Lord God, Father, Creator of everything that breathes and everything that holds still, the one who set the sun on its course this morning and who knew before this day began exactly what I would need, I come before you. I come before you not because I have it all together. I come before you not because my faith has been perfect or my words have been right. I come before you because you are the only place I know to go, and you have never once turned me away. I come before you with a grateful heart. Even when gratefulness is hard to find, I come searching for it. I come reaching for it, because I know that you deserve it. I know that you have been faithful even when I could not see it. I know that you have been at work even in the seasons that felt silent. And so I come before you today, first and above everything else, to say thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you for the breath I just took, for the one before it and the one before that. for every single breath you have given me that I never had to ask for, that arrived while I was sleeping, that kept me alive through nights I did not know I needed keeping. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for the particular morning this is. Not a morning I earned or deserved, but a morning you gave. A morning that is new. A morning that has never existed before and will never exist again. A morning full of possibilities I cannot yet see. Thank you for my body. Thank you for bones that hold me up. For muscles that move when I tell them to. For a heart that keeps its rhythm without me thinking about it once. Thank you for eyes that opened this morning and saw light. Thank you for ears that can hear. For hands that can reach. For feet that carry me. For a mind that can think and remember and wonder and choose. Thank you for the people in my life. For the ones who answer when I call. For the ones who have stayed. For the ones who showed up when it would have been easier to disappear. For the ones who have loved me on my worst days and not just my best. For every person whose name rises in my heart right now. I thank you for them. Thank you for the ways you have provided. For the times money came through and I did not know how it would. For the times a door opened that I did not see coming. For the job that carried me when I needed it. For the meal that showed up. For the kindness of a stranger at a moment I was falling apart. For the things that worked out when everything in me said they would not. Thank you for the times you protected me from things I never even knew were coming. For the accident that did not happen. For the path that was quietly redirected. For the danger that passed by me without my knowing it was there. You have been my shield in ways I will never fully understand on this side of eternity, and I want to say thank you for all of it, the seen and the unseen. Thank you for the faith you placed in me, the ability to believe in something I cannot touch with my hands, the willingness to keep praying even when the answer was slow, the capacity to trust even when circumstances argued against it. That faith did not come from me. You grew it. You tended it. You kept it alive in seasons when it should have died, and I am grateful. Thank you for your word, for promises that have carried me through seasons when nothing else could, for verses I memorized as a child that came back to me as an adult when I needed them most, for the truth that has held steady even when everything else in my life was shifting, for the passages that found me at exactly the right time, not because I was wise enough to seek them, but because you were faithful enough to bring them. Thank you for the hard seasons. I know that might sound strange, but I have lived long enough to look back and see that the hardest seasons were often the ones that changed me the most, the ones that made me reach for you, the ones that burned away things I was holding too tightly, the ones that showed me I was stronger than I thought and that you were more faithful than I had imagined. Thank you for what the difficult roads have done in me. Thank you for the character that came out of the trials I would never have chosen. Thank you for second chances. For the morning after the night I thought I would not make it. For the relationship that found its way back. For the moment of grace that came when I expected judgment. For the fresh start that arrived when I thought I had used all of them up. You are a God of second chances and third chances and fourth chances, and I have needed every one of them. Thank you for never giving up on me, for the patience you have shown, for the times you waited for me to come back, for the love that did not shrink when I pulled away, for the voice that kept calling even when I was not listening. You never stopped pursuing me, and that alone is worth more than I can put into words. Thank you for small things, for the particular color the sky turns in the last few minutes before the sun sets, for the way it feels to get into a bed with clean sheets, for the first cup of coffee in the quiet of an early morning, for the sound of laughter from the other room, for a song that says exactly what you have been trying to find words for a deep breath on a cool day, for the particular sweetness of a memory that comes at just the right moment. You fill this life with small graces, and I do not want to be someone who only notices the large ones. Thank you for the gift of sleep, for the nights when I drifted off easily and woke restored, for the dreams that carried me somewhere good, for the way the body heals while it rests, quietly, without effort, by your design. Thank you that I do not have to hold the world together while I sleep. Thank you that you keep watch. Thank you for the seasons of plenty I have known, for the times abundance was easy to see, for the full tables and the full bank accounts and the full relationships, for the seasons when joy felt effortless and provision felt automatic. Those seasons were gifts, and I do not want to remember them without also remembering to thank you for them. Thank you for the grace to try again, for the morning after I failed, for the day after the argument, for the week after the relapse, for the year after the loss, for every time that getting up seemed impossible and you gave me just enough to get my feet on the floor and take one step. Thank you for the grace that shows up in the smallest doses, exactly proportioned to the need. Thank you for the people you removed from my life. Even though some of those removals were painful, even though some of them I did not understand at the time, even though some of them felt like loss when they were actually protection, I see it more clearly now than I did then. Thank you for knowing the difference between the relationships that were building me and the ones that were slowly tearing me down, even when I could not see it myself. Now, Father, I want to give you something. I want to give you the parts of my life I have been carrying that were never mine to carry. The worry I have been holding about things that are outside of my control. The fear I have been feeding in the quiet moments when the house gets still. The anxiety that wakes up with me some mornings before I have even had a chance to choose it. I surrender all of it to you. I surrender my finances, the bills that feel bigger than what is in my account, the debt that has its own voice, the uncertainty about whether there will be enough at the end of the month. I place all of it in your hands this morning, because your hands are bigger than any number I am afraid of. I surrender my health. Whatever is happening in my body that the doctors have not been able to explain. Whatever I have been noticing and trying not to think about. Whatever diagnosis has been sitting on my mind since the appointment last week or last month. I give it to you, God. Not because I am pretending it is not there, but because I know you are greater than it. I surrender my relationships. The one that is broken and I do not know how to fix. The one that is distant and I miss. The one that is complicated and takes more out of me than it gives. The one where I said something I cannot take back. I open my hands and I give all of it to you. I surrender my plans, the ones that did not go the way I thought they would, the ones I am still hoping for, the ones I am afraid to hope for because hope has cost me before. I lay all of my plans before you and I ask you to do with them whatever is best. Not my will, but yours. Your way, not mine. Your timing, not my schedule. I surrender my past. The things I did that I am not proud of. The choices that left marks. The moments I would redo if I could. I have carried them long enough. I place them at the foot of your mercy today, and I receive your forgiveness, full and complete, because your word says you are faithful and just to forgive. And I choose to believe that today. I surrender my future, all of the uncertainty that lives there, all of the questions about what comes next, all of the what ifs and the what abouts and the I don't knows. You already see it. You are already there, and I trust you with it. I surrender my reputation, the image I spend energy maintaining, the version of myself I perform for other people, the fear of what people think of me if they know the truth of what I have been through. You already know the truth, and you love me anyway. I give you permission to do with my story whatever brings you glory, even if that means being more honest than is comfortable. I surrender my grief, the mourning I carry for the person who is gone, the ache I feel when something reminds me of them unexpectedly, the grief that shows up on holidays and birthdays and ordinary Tuesday mornings for no particular reason other than that they are not here. I place it in your hands. Hold it with me, and hold them. I surrender my children, if I have them. The grown ones I can no longer protect by presence. The ones who are making choices I cannot control and that I am watching with my heart in my throat. The ones who are struggling in ways I cannot fix. The ones who have pulled away. I have prayed for them more times than I can count, and I place them in your hands one more time today because your hands are the safest place they can be. I surrender my worry about tomorrow, the conversations I have been rehearsing in my mind that have not happened yet,
The scenarios I have been playing out, the worst cases I have been preparing for. I release the grip I have on the future. I choose today. I choose this moment. I choose what is right in front of me, and I trust you with everything beyond my reach. Father, I want to say out loud what I reject and what I choose to receive in its place. I reject the spirit of fear that has been trying to settle in my chest. I reject it by name. I reject the anxiety that has been stealing my sleep and my peace. I reject the voice that says things will not get better, that help is not coming, that you have forgotten about me. I receive your peace, the kind that does not make sense, the kind that can hold steady in the middle of a storm, the peace that sits in the center of uncertainty and does not move. I receive it this morning. I take it. I keep it. I reject the weight of shame, the heaviness that comes from old mistakes being rehearsed over and over in my mind, the condemning voice that uses my past against me. I reject every accusation that does not come from you. I receive your grace, fresh and new this morning, unearned and undeserved and freely given. I receive the fact that your mercies are new, not every year, not every month, but every single morning. This morning, right now. I reject disappointment as a permanent address. I reject the idea that what has been is all there is. I reject the ceiling that circumstances have tried to put over my life. I receive hope, real hope, not wishful thinking, but the confident expectation that you are at work, that your plans for me are good, that what I cannot see yet is already being prepared. I reject bitterness toward the people who have hurt me. I reject the walls I have built to protect myself that have also kept out the good. I reject unforgiveness as something I can afford to hold. I receive the grace to let go, to release what happened, to stop rehearsing what was said and what was done, to forgive the way I have been forgiven, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve to be free. I reject loneliness as a life sentence. I reject the feeling that I am the only one going through this. I reject the isolation that has been creeping in through the edges of my life. I receive the knowledge that you are with me, that you are close to the brokenhearted, that you see me sitting exactly where I am right now, and you have not looked away. I receive the truth that I am not alone, not even for a moment. I reject the lie that I am too old for my prayers to be answered. I reject the idea that some season of my life has passed and with it the possibility of something new. I reject the voice that says the best is behind me. I receive the truth that you are a God who does not run out of good things, who does not look at my age or my history and decide the story is over, who makes all things new, including things I had stopped expecting to change. I reject the comparison, the scrolling through what other people have and measuring my life against it, the tallying of what I was supposed to have by now, the looking sideways instead of looking up. I receive contentment that is not complacency, the ability to want more without being undone by the distance between here and there, the ability to look at what I have today and call it enough, while still believing that God has more on the way. I reject despair, even in its most reasonable forms, even when it comes dressed up as realism, even when the circumstances seem to argue for it convincingly. Despair is not the end of my story. It never was. I receive faith, not the kind that guarantees easy outcomes, but the kind that stays, the kind that says, even if I do not understand what is happening, I believe in the one who does, the kind that has roots deep enough to hold through any weather. God, I want to ask you for things, and I want to do it with the kind of faith that thanks you before the answer arrives. Heal my body. Heal the places in my body that are not working the way they should. Heal inflamed joints and tired muscles. Heal lungs that labor. Heal blood that carries what it should not carry. Heal nerves that fire wrong signals. Heal bones that ache before rain. Heal the organ that the doctors are watching. Heal the thing that has not been named yet. Go to the cellular level, Father. Go to the place where the problem starts, and let your healing move through me the way blood moves, quietly, completely, through every part.
Heal what the scans have shown and what they have not shown. Heal what the doctor knows and what only you know. And where healing is a process and not a moment, strengthen me for every step of it.
Let your presence be felt in every hospital room, every treatment chair, every waiting area where someone is holding a number and hoping their name is called soon. Heal my mind.
Heal the thought patterns that go in circles, the mental loops that revisit the same hurt over and over, the anxiety that catastrophizes before breakfast, the depression that colors everything gray, the intrusive thoughts that show up uninvited. Heal the memories that still carry pain that should have faded by now. Heal the nervous system that has been running on high alert for so long it does not know how to rest. Renew my mind the way your word says you can. Not just manage what is in there, but genuinely transform it. Change the way I process. Change the way I interpret what happens to me. Change the voice I use when I talk to myself in the quiet of my own head. Let it be a voice of mercy. Let it be the kind of voice you use with me. Heal my memories, the ones I cannot look at directly because they still carry too much pain, the childhood ones, the ones from seasons of loss, the ones that rise without warning and knock the air out of the room. Touch those memories, Father, not to erase them, but to take the sting out, to change what they mean, to put your presence into even the recollection of the hardest times, so that even looking back I can see your hand. Provide for my needs.
Provide for the rent that is due. Provide for the car payment and the grocery bill and the electricity that keeps the lights on. Provide for the thing that broke and needs to be fixed and I do not have the money for it right now. Provide in ways I cannot predict, through people I have not met, through doors I have not knocked on, through ideas I have not had yet.
Provide for the family that is one paycheck from a crisis. Provide for the person who is watching their savings run out and does not know what comes after. Provide for the single parent who is doing math every night at the kitchen table trying to figure out how to make it stretch. Be Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides, in the most practical and specific and real ways. Provide a way where there does not seem to be one. Provide beyond what I would think to ask for. Provide not just the minimum, not just enough to survive, but enough to breathe, enough to give, enough to be a blessing to the people around me who are also in need. Thank you that you own everything. Thank you that your resources do not run out. Thank you that the same God who fed thousands with a few loaves of bread is the same God I am talking to right now. The same God who brought water from a rock. The same God who made a widow's oil keep pouring. You are still that God, and I ask you to be that God in my situation today. Open doors. Open the door to the job I have been waiting for. The one that uses what I have been given. The one that pays what I need and treats me with dignity. Open the door to the opportunity that matches my calling. Open the door to the conversation that changes everything. Open the door to the relationship that brings healing and joy. Open the door to the next chapter that I can feel coming but cannot see yet. And close the doors that should not be open. Close the paths that look good but lead to harm. Protect me from the opportunities that are dressed up to look like answers but are not from you. I do not want to spend 3 years in the wrong room because I was in too much of a hurry to wait for the right one. Restore what has been lost. Restore the years. The ones that grief took. The ones that wrong choices took. The ones that illness took. The ones that other people's decisions took. You are the God who restores, and I believe you can give back what the locusts have eaten. I believe you can make something whole out of what was broken. I believe you can bring beauty out of even the hardest stories. Restore the relationship. The one between parent and child that has gone cold. The marriage that is in trouble but not over. The friendship that broke under the weight of something that happened and was never fully talked through. Restore trust. Restore warmth. Restore communication. Bring people back to each other whose separation is causing pain on both sides. Restore joy. Real joy, not happiness that depends on circumstances, but the deep-rooted, unshakable joy that comes from knowing you are held. Restore it to the person who used to have it and cannot remember where it went. Restore it to the heart that has been heavy for a long time and cannot imagine feeling light again. Let joy rise in the places where it has been absent. Let it be surprising. Let it come before the circumstances change, which is the only kind of joy that really lasts. Restore purpose. To the person who has been going through the motions. To the one who does not know why they get up anymore. To the one who used to feel called to something and has lost the thread of it. Remind them who they are. Remind them what they carry. Remind them that there is still work for them to do that only they can do. Give wisdom. Give wisdom to the one who is standing at a crossroads. To the one making a decision that will affect not just today, but the next 10 years. To the one who has too many options and cannot see which one is the right one. To the one who has been given counsel from several different directions and needs to know which voice to follow. Give wisdom for the conversation that is coming, the one that could go well or badly depending on the words chosen in the first 60 seconds. Let the right words come. Let kindness be there. Let truth and love arrive together, which is the hardest combination to hold. Give wisdom to leaders, to the ones in governments making decisions that affect millions of people, to the ones in churches, to the ones in school systems, to the ones in families, who are often the smallest and most consequential leadership assignment of all. Father, I want to pray for people beyond myself now. I want to widen this prayer and carry others before you. If you are listening right now and you are the one in need, I want you to know that this section of the prayer is for you. You do not have to wait for someone else to pray this on your behalf, but I am praying it for you, right now. By name in your heart, even though I do not know it. God knows it, and He is hearing this. I lift up the sick, every person in a hospital bed this morning, every person receiving treatment, every person in pain who is trying to stay positive but finding it harder today than yesterday, every person who got a phone call this week that changed everything. Be near them in the most physical way. Let them feel something in that room, not just the hum of machines and the sound of footsteps in hallways, but your presence, warm and real and close. Speak to them in the night when they cannot sleep. Reassure them when fear rises. Give the medical teams around them wisdom beyond their training. Guide the hands that hold the instruments. Speak into the minds of the researchers working on treatments. And where medicine has reached its limit, step beyond it, because you are not limited by what medicine can do. Release healing into bodies, into the lungs fighting for space, into the cells that are multiplying wrong, into the systems that have gone out of balance, into the bones and the blood and the nerves and the spine. Heal in ways that the doctors will not be able to explain, but that the patient will know came from you. I lift up the grieving, the ones who lost someone recently, the ones who lost someone years ago and still reach for them without thinking, the ones who are grieving a person who is still alive, a parent who no longer knows their name, a child who has chosen distance, a marriage that ended, a version of a future they had to let go of. Comfort every grieving heart today. Not with platitudes, not with reasons and explanations, but with your presence. The way you showed up in the garden when Mary was weeping. The way you wept with those who were weeping before you raised Lazarus. Come to the grieving with that kind of tenderness. Let them feel held. Let them feel that their loss matters to you, and in the fullness of time, bring them through to the other side where breathing is easier again, where they can look at a photo and smile before they cry, where they can feel the person's presence in memory without it only being a wound. Bring them to the place of gentle remembrance. That is where you are taking them. Help them believe it. I lift up the afraid. The person driving to a job interview this morning whose hands are shaking on the steering wheel. The person sitting in a doctor's waiting room trying to keep a calm face while their heart races. The person who is about to have a hard conversation that they have been putting off for weeks. The person who is starting something new and feels more terrified than excited. The parent watching a child take a first big step and not being able to go along. Give them courage. The specific, in the moment, step-by-step kind. Not a theory about courage, but the actual thing. The ability to go forward, even while afraid. Let them feel you with them in that room. At that table, in that conversation, in that car, in that waiting room. Let them know they are not going in alone. I lift up the lonely, the elderly person who has not had a visitor in a week, the person who is surrounded by people all day and still feels unseen, the newcomer in a city where they know no one, eating lunch at their desk and scrolling through a phone because there is no one to eat with, the person who has a phone full of contacts and no one they can really call, the one who is in the middle of a crowded room and still manages to feel invisible. Let them feel found today. Let them feel chosen. Let something happen today. A conversation, a message, a knock at the door, an unexpected meeting in a store or on a bus that reminds them they are not invisible, that God sees them, that there are people in the world who would love them deeply if the path to each other were opened. I lift up those under financial pressure, the one who is looking at overdue notices on the kitchen counter and does not know in what order to handle them, the one who is deciding which bill to pay and which one to put off one more week, the one who is too proud to ask for help and too exhausted to keep managing alone, the one who gave generously when they had it and is now the one who needs it. Move on their behalf, Father. Send resources, send help, send the person who knows about the opportunity they need. Give them ideas they have not had, open doors they have not tried, and in the meantime, give them peace that passes understanding while they wait. The kind that says, I do not know how this will work out, but I know who is working on it. I lift up those who are in trouble in their marriages, the couple who is sleeping in the same bed but feeling like strangers, the one who has started wondering if the marriage is over, the one who is trying everything and it feels like nothing is working, the one who is holding on by a thread out of faithfulness but whose heart is exhausted, the one who has been betrayed and does not know if trust can be rebuilt. God, you are the God of restoration. You specialize in things that look past saving. Move in those marriages. Move in those hearts. Soften what has hardened. Heal what has been wounded. Restore what has been lost. And where restoration is possible, let both people find the courage to reach for it. I lift up those who have been waiting a long time, the one who has been praying for something for years, the one who has asked and asked and asked and still has not seen the answer, the one whose faith is tired but still hanging on by its fingernails, the one who is starting to wonder if you heard them, the one who has watched other people receive the very thing they have been asking for and had to fight through genuine confusion and grief about why it has not come for them. I ask you on their behalf to let them feel heard today. Let something shift. Let something stir. Let a sign of movement come, even something small, that tells them you have not forgotten and the answer is on its way. Encourage the ones who have been waiting long. Meet them in the place of deferred hope and give them something to hold, even one thing, even one small evidence of your awareness. Let them see it today. I lift up those who are in darkness, the person who does not yet know you, the one who has been running from you for years without fully knowing that is what they are doing, the one who was hurt by religion and built walls against you that they do not fully understand, the one who is curious but afraid to look, the one who is asking the questions late at night when no one else is awake. Reach them, the way only you can reach someone. In a dream, in a conversation, in a moment of crisis, in a quiet moment of inexplicable beauty that stops them and makes them wonder. Reach the ones who feel too far gone, because you specialize in the ones who feel too far gone. That is what you have always done. That is who you have always been. I lift up the children, the ones who are growing up in homes without peace, the ones who are navigating things no child should have to navigate, the ones who need more stability than they are getting, the ones who are starting to give up on good things because the world has already disappointed them. Protect them. Assign angels to them specifically. Let someone speak words of life over them at exactly the right moment. Let them be found by love. I lift up the caregivers, the ones who are taking care of elderly parents while also raising their own children, the ones who are the primary support for someone with a chronic illness, the ones who give and give and give and rarely have anyone asking how they are. They are exhausted in ways that are hard to explain. They are carrying so much for so long. God, carry them. Give them rest in creative ways. send relief from unexpected places, and let them know their sacrifice is seen. Let them know it matters. Now I want to speak some things out. I want to declare what I believe about this day and about the God we are praying to. We declare that this day belongs to God. We declare that the hours ahead are not random, they are purposeful. That the conversations we are about to have are not accidental. That the people we encounter today were placed in our path by a God who is still directing, still guiding, still sovereignly moving in the details of ordinary life. We declare that God's goodness is following us today, not behind us like a memory, but following us like a living thing. Active, present, moving ahead of us to prepare the way and coming behind us to catch what might fall. We will not walk through this day as people abandoned. We will walk through it as people pursued by a God who is good. We declare that we are not defined by what we are going through, not by the diagnosis, not by the bank balance, not by the relationship status, not by the failure, not by the thing that happened that we are still recovering from. We are defined by whose we are. We are defined by a love that was there before we were born and will outlast everything that tries to name us. We declare that the best is not behind us. Even if we are older than we once were, even if some doors have closed, even if seasons have changed and things we once had are no longer in our hands, we declare that God is still writing, still building, still doing something in us and through us that matters, and that the next chapter is not a lesser one just because it looks different from the ones before. We declare that fear has no home here. It can knock at the door, but it does not live inside us. It does not get to set the temperature of how we face the day. We are not the people of fear. We are the people of faith. And faith chooses to believe, in the face of every reason not to, that God is working. We declare that healing is coming, into bodies, into minds, into memories, into relationships, into families, into places where the wound has been there so long that people stopped expecting it to close. Healing is coming. We believe that. We declare it out loud. And we choose to live today as people who expect to see it, not people who would be surprised by it, but people who are watching for it. We declare that provision is coming, not eventually, not in some far-off time, but in the right time, which is God's time. And His timing has never been late. His provisions have always arrived when they were truly needed. We believe that about today. We believe that about this week. We believe that about whatever moment feels the most impossible right now. We declare that we are loved, deeply, permanently, completely. Not because of what we have done or who we have been, but because of who God is. He is love. Not that He loves sometimes, or that He loves when conditions are met, but that love is His very nature. And we are His children. And today, that is enough to stand on. We believe that God is working when we cannot see it, that He is in the silence as much as He is in the thunder, that the waiting room is not where God has left us, it is where He is preparing us, that the delay we have experienced is not evidence of His absence. It is often evidence of His precision. He is getting ready something that requires more preparation than we realized, and when it arrives, we will look back and understand why it took as long as it did. We believe that nothing is wasted. Not the hard years, not the wrong turns, not the failures, not the painful relationships, not the seasons that felt like nothing was happening. In the hands of a God who works all things together for good, nothing is wasted. Every experience is material. Every hard season is shaping something. Every single moment of our lives is being woven into something larger than we can see right now. We believe that today can be a turning point, not because we have suddenly earned favor, but because we are choosing gratitude. We are choosing faith. We are choosing to begin this day with God, and beginning matters. How you start a day, how you start a prayer, how you start a conversation, how you start a new chapter, these things set a direction. We are setting ours right now. We are pointing ourselves toward God, and from that position, everything that follows is different. Father, as this prayer comes to its close, I want to circle back to where we started, I want gratitude to be the last thing I give you, not just the first. Thank you for hearing this prayer, for the fact that you are a God who listens, who inclines your ear, who does not put us on hold, who does not screen our calls, who does not look at the state of my life before deciding whether my prayer is worth receiving. You hear me. You hear every word of this, even the ones I did not know how to say and felt in my chest instead. And that right there is extraordinary, that you would be that kind of God. Thank you for the people who are praying this prayer with me right now. I do not know all of them, but you do. Every person who is listening to this voice today, wherever they are in the world, the one in a living room with the curtains still drawn, the one on a morning walk with earphones in, the one in a hospital bed with a phone held up close, the one in an empty office before the rest of the building fills up, the one on a bus or in a car or sitting on the edge of a bed that is still warm from sleep. You see every one of them, and I ask you to meet every one of them, specifically, personally, precisely, in the particular need they brought to this prayer this morning. Thank you for what you are already doing that we cannot see yet, for the answer that is in motion before we finished asking, for the provision that is in transit from sources we do not know yet, for the healing that is already working at a level below what any scan can detect, for the open door that is being prepared, for the conversation that will happen in the next 72 hours that will change things, for the connection that is about to be made, for the thing we have been waiting for that is closer than it has ever been. Thank you for it, right now, before we see it. Thank you. Thank you for being a God who finishes what He starts. You began a good work in me, and I believe with everything in me that you will carry it through to completion. Not because I have been faithful enough or consistent enough or good enough, but because that is who you are. You are faithful. You do not abandon the work of your own hands. You do not lose interest. You do not walk away from the people you have claimed. You finish things, and I am one of your things, and I am in your hands, and I am grateful. Thank you for the gift of this day, every hour of it, the ones that will feel easy, and the ones that will feel hard, the ones that go the way I want, and the ones that surprise me, the ones that carry joy and the ones that carry difficulty. You are in all of them, Lord over all of them, present in all of them, and I choose to look for you in all of them, even the difficult ones, especially the difficult ones, because that is where faith really lives, not in the easy hours but in the hard ones, where I have to choose to believe that you are still there. Thank you for who you are, not just for what you do, though what you do is more than enough, but for who you are, at the deepest level, the level that does not change. Faithful, good, patient, merciful, just, present, loving, powerful, near, attentive, constant. You are all of those things all of the time, not when you feel like it, not when we deserve it, but always. Always faithful, always good, always present, always loving. I am grateful beyond what words can hold that you are my God, and I am grateful that today, this particular morning, with all it carries, is a morning I spent with you. Now, before you go into this day, I want to speak a blessing over you, not just a wish, not just warm words, a spoken, intentional blessing offered in faith over whoever is hearing this right now. May your eyes see something good today, something that reminds you that beauty is still here, still available, still being made, not something you have to search for, something that finds you. A color in the sky, a smile from a stranger, a moment of light coming through a window at exactly the right angle. May your ears hear something that lifts your spirit, a word that lands in exactly the right place, a sound that soothes what has been tense. A song that says what you needed said, a voice saying your name the way people say it when they are glad to see you. May your body feel stronger than it did yesterday. May whatever aches find some relief. May your energy be restored beyond what sleep and food can explain. May you be surprised today by how much you are able to do when you begin the day with God rather than without Him. May your heart be lighter when this day ends than it was when it started. May something lift that has been heavy. May something settle that has been anxious. May something come to rest that has been restless. May the day bring you at least one moment, one clear, still, undeniable moment where you feel okay. May someone reach for you today, through a message, through a call, through a knock at the door, through running into someone in a grocery store aisle. May it be exactly who you needed it to be, at exactly the moment you needed it, saying something close to exactly what your heart required. May your finances shift this week. Even one small thing, a conversation, an idea, an unexpected amount arriving from a direction you were not watching. May you see movement where things have been still. May the pressure ease just enough for you to breathe and think clearly. May God surprise you, not in a way that frightens or overwhelms, but in the way that makes you stop what you are doing and put your hand over your mouth. The way that makes you say, out loud, to yourself or to someone nearby, you are not going to believe what just happened. The kind of surprise that could only come from Him because no one else knows you well enough to arrange it. May you have that moment before the season is out. May this day be marked, not by something you did, but by something God did. Something that you will look back on and say, that was the day. That was the week. That was the moment when things began to turn. May it be marked in your memory as a day when you chose to give thanks and something in you, and something around you, shifted because of it. You are loved, completely, without condition, without end. You are held, in hands that are stronger than what is trying to pull you down. You are not forgotten, not by the God who made you, not by the God who called you, not by the God who knows the exact number of days He has planned for your life and has not taken His eyes off a single one of them. Go into this day knowing that. Walk through your ordinary hours as someone who has just spent time with God, because you have. Let it show in how you carry yourself. Let it show in how you treat the people you encounter. Let it show in the quiet way you hold yourself when things go wrong. Not because you are pretending everything is fine, but because you know who is in charge and you trust Him. You started this morning with gratitude. That is not a small thing. That is a choice that changes the trajectory of everything that follows. Gratitude is not passive. It is not merely a feeling. It is a posture, a direction, a way of standing in the world that says, I see what is good, I acknowledge who it comes from, and I choose to keep my eyes on the giver even when the gifts are hard to see. You made that choice today. The moment you pressed play on this prayer, you made that choice, and heaven saw it. If this prayer has done something in you this morning, if something shifted, if something lifted, if you felt seen or strengthened or simply less alone, I want to ask you to do a few things before the rest of your day begins. Leave a word in the comments right now, even one word, even just amen. Tell me how you are this morning. Tell me what you are believing for, what you are still carrying, what you felt during this prayer. There is power in naming it. There is power in community. When someone scrolling through the comments at midnight sees that hundreds of people wrote their prayer requests and someone prayed over them, that itself becomes an act of ministry. Your comment is not small. Write it. If there is someone in your life who needs to hear this prayer, someone who is going through something hard, someone whose mornings have been heavy, someone you have been meaning to reach out to and just have not found the right thing to say, share this with them right now. You do not need to add anything. Just send it. Let the prayer be the message. That act of reaching out might be the most important thing you do today. If you are new here and this is your first time praying with us, subscribe so that you do not miss what we bring every single day. These prayers are made for you, for the mornings when you need a voice to pray alongside, for the moments when your own words run out, for the days when you just need someone to begin. If you have been here a while, if you come back regularly and these prayers are part of how you start your days, the like button is a small thing that does a large thing. It tells the people who are looking for something exactly like this that this is worth their time. Every like makes it more likely that someone who needs this prayer finds it. That is worth 30 seconds. Leave a prayer request in the comments. Write out what you are believing for, what you are carrying, what you have been praying about and need more prayer over. Nothing you write here is too big, too complicated or too specific for God. Write it plainly. Write it honestly. This community prays for one another, and I read these. You are not dropping your need into a void. You are placing it before people who are asking God on your behalf. That is real. That matters. And now, one final thing before you go. Go with the full knowledge that you are not walking into this day alone. The one who holds the morning, the one who set the stars in their places and calls them each by name, the one who knows the number of hairs on your head and the number of tears you have cried and the weight of everything you are carrying today. That God is walking with you, through the meeting that makes you nervous, through the commute in traffic, through the conversation you have been dreading, through the appointment that has been on your mind, through the empty afternoon that feels too quiet, through the too loud evening that feels too full, through the late night moment when everyone else is asleep and you are the only one awake and the quiet has a particular weight to it. He is with you. He has been with you through everything you have already survived. He will be with you through everything still to come, and nothing, not failure, not fear, not distance, not circumstance, not time, not your worst day, not your best day, nothing can take you out of His hand. Give thanks to God today. Not because your situation is perfect. Not because the answer has arrived. Not because everything you have asked for has been given. Give thanks because the one who can make all things work together for your good is already at work. The story is not over. The last word has not been spoken. And the God who loves you is still writing. Go in peace. Go in faith. Go in gratitude. And go knowing that the greatest reason to give thanks is not what God has done, though what He has done is more than enough. The greatest reason is who He is, and who He is has not changed. Not today. Not ever. Amen. There is something worth pausing on here, before the rush of the day takes over completely. You chose gratitude this morning. Out of everything you could have done in the first minutes of your day, you chose to stop and give thanks to God. That is not nothing. That is not a small act. In a world that pulls hard toward complaint, toward comparison, toward cataloging what is missing and what is wrong and what has not come yet, choosing gratitude is genuinely countercultural. It is a form of resistance. It is a declaration that you refuse to be defined by what you lack. And here is something I want you to carry with you through the rest of this day. Gratitude is not just good for your spirit. It is good for your eyes. When you begin the day in gratitude, you start to see things you would have otherwise missed. The provision that was already there, the care that was already being extended, the people who are already for you, the evidence that God has not stepped away. Gratitude is not just a response to blessings. It is often the thing that allows you to see the blessings that were always there. So go looking today. Look for the kindness. Look for the moment that did not have to go well, but did. Look for the small mercy in the middle of the hard thing. Look for God's fingerprints on the ordinary parts of your day, because they are there. They are always there. You just have to decide to look for them. And when you find them, even one small one, name it. Say it out loud if you can. Write it down if you have paper nearby. Tell someone if there is someone to tell. Gratitude named grows. Gratitude shared multiplies. A single moment noticed and spoken becomes something larger than it was. And a day of gratitude that begins here, in prayer, and is carried carefully through every hour, has a way of becoming a day you will remember as one of the good ones. Not because everything went right, but because you were paying the right kind of attention. This is the gift you gave yourself this morning. This is the practice you chose. And practice over time becomes a way of being in the world. It becomes the lens through which you see. It becomes the voice that rises first when something happens. Not the anxious one. Not the critical one. Not the voice that immediately asks what else could go wrong. But the grateful one. The one that looks at what is here and says, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." God is worthy of your thanks. Not because giving it to Him changes what He is unchanging, but because giving it to Him changes what you are. It keeps you tethered to the source. It keeps you oriented toward the one who holds everything. It keeps you humble in the good seasons and steady in the hard ones. Gratitude is the posture that makes all other postures possible. It makes faith stronger. It makes hope more durable. It makes love more patient. It makes you more able to carry what you carry. So give thanks today and tomorrow and the day after, not as a spiritual obligation to discharge, but as a living, breathing, ongoing conversation with a God who is genuinely glad when you speak to him, who leans toward you when you call, who keeps every word you have ever prayed, who holds you in full knowledge of everything you are and everything you are not, and chooses you anyway, that God is yours and you are his. And this morning you spent time with him. That is always worth something. That is always enough to begin. Amen and amen.